You're listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. This evening, we got the all-star lineup. We got TJ in the building. What's going on, TJ, man? How
Yo,
you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Excited for this weekend. We got MotoGP and MotoAmerica ahead of us, and I can't wait because the final round of MotoAmerica, see where everybody places, and see a lot of people in person. So it's
No
gonna be
doubt,
fun.
no doubt, no doubt. We're gonna have some fun tonight. It's gonna be a good night. Let's move down the lineup. We got Reese in the building, man. Reese, how you doing tonight? You must be excited. You got the weekend coming up. I don't see you sweating over there. You look cool as a cucumber. It's good,
Hey
man.
man, I'm hanging in there, man. Ready to go, ready to get this weekend started. Hopefully, it don't be a wet one, or I ain't gotta be looking like a swamp monster.
I no doubt. We're going to talk about all the possible options for conditions out there. Last but not least, we got the numbers guy in the building. Lewis, what's going on, man?
What's going on today? Another interesting weekend of motorcycle stuff.
You know, you might not know this, Lewis, man, but a year ago we did our first interview together. Now look at us, man. Crazy, man.
Yeah, man, it's gone by really fast, and I as always, I like to thank everybody that listens and watches. It's great to get feedback and have just people hit me up on Instagram, things like that. It's cool, man. I didn't think when we first did the first interview, I was thinking, we'll do a few and we'll see how it goes. But here we are a year down the road, and seems like a lot has happened in the last year.
No doubt, no doubt. We're gonna keep this thing moving for sure. What's going on, fellas? Welcome back. There's gonna be some cheers, some tears this weekend, whether you're in the US, whether you're in Motegi. Hell, you might even be in the UK somewhere because you might not get a contract. A lot of moving pieces in the motorcycle community this time around. So we'll jump into it and we'll talk right off the back. Taparak came over to the US. I don't know if he was looking at doctors, looking at houses, or just trying to get comfortable with Coda. But he got the motorcycle community talking about what you can do on a BMW. I hear guys and women, and they're gonna get that stock 1000 to come put some times down on some people. But we want to talk about Ducati in a little bit. But let's talk about what Top Rack did over in Coda, man. Was that a big deal? TJ, what's good, man?
I found out late, and I really think Coda is a really nice track. I think it's one of the best tracks. Like I said last week, you can figure out anything on that track with any manufacturer, just because of the layout. It's uphill, downhill, but for Top Rack to come out here and I don't know what he's trying to prove, be in shape or see if he can 10. I don't know what it's about, but I think he put like a 206 or something like that, which is a pretty good time. I think Bobier put something like that when they just went to Kona. But I just can't wait to see him in MotoGP. I feel like he already got this season locked up. It's pretty much over for Buiga. I don't know how much harder he can try, but it ain't gonna happen unless Top Rack goes out. Um, but yeah, what he did out there was pretty impressive. For I don't know how many times he's ridden Kona, but
Well, that's
again, I just can't wait. I can't wait
that's
till he gets in GP, see what happens.
that's the other part of it. How many times has he ridden Coda? I remember watching a clip. I'm going to jump on, talk to Reese next. I was watching a clip with Scott Greenwood a few years ago. He's talking about, when he first couple of laps, he was trying to break the will of other riders. So they don't even want to come in and make his race easier because, he pulled out some lap times. Reese, you think that, the flack that you hear people complain about the BMW and he comes out and do this, is he trying to tell people like just shut up and ride? Like that's serious on a stock 1000.
I mean, it's serious on a stock 1000, and you gotta also think he's on Pirelli tires. The tires do make a hell of a difference. People don't think so, but tires do make a hell of a difference. I mean, Jake was at a 7.4 on USA stock, US spec Dunlop tires.
Come on, what are you trying to
So I
say? He
mean,
Michael Jordan. Got to be the shoes. Got to be the shoes.
on this one, I mean, it is Top Rack. Top Rack is the guy. If so he makes BMW look great. I mean, because there was some couple of guys out on Instagram telling me that the BMW is great and giving me this. But I'm like, if it wasn't for Top Rack, where are we at with BMW? Like, I had to go back into the record books, and it's like I can't pull nothing up. So I mean, and I talked to a couple guys. They're like, BMW is a great street bike. You know, they're still trying to develop it as a pure race bike. So I mean, but what he has done on a bike is next to phenomenal. I mean, the guy is the last person to come up as an alien that can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, shout out to those fans, man. We really appreciate all the comments. We're doing something good over here on the Be Forever Cool podcast because we got people talking that would normally talk. But we're gonna leave the, not necessarily the best for last. But Mr. Numbers guy, what do you thought? I know you have a different take on the stock 1000, so I'm gonna let you have your piece, man. What's good?
Well, let's start by saying stock 1000 does not mean stock from the showroom 1000.
Right.
It means a stock 1000 race bike, similar to the race bike that Orange Cat team is using in the stock 1000 series in MotoAmerica.
Correct.
This bike had Alpha Racing parts in it. This is not a stock showroom bike. So let's start with that there. All right. Okay. Now, the first thing I got to say is Top Rack is absolutely the last guy that you want to see at the track in a race, because there's a reason why he's a reigning world champion and why there's only one other guy in World Superbike that he can even smell his exhaust. If Nikola Buliga wasn't racing in World Superbike this year, Top Rack would run away with the series because nobody else is touching it. Right. So right off the bat, Top Rack is going to come with plus 3 seconds in his pocket to anybody that's racing in the US on the same bike. That's just what he is, man. And then again, as Reese was saying, then you add the Pirelli factor. And I know there's a lot of ball riders out there that are like, oh, tires make a difference. Don't sleep on tires. The only reason bikes can do what they can do today is because the tires have evolved to allow them to do what they can do today. Take a 26 MotoGP Ducati and put it on a set of 2005 Michelins. It won't do the times that it's doing today. Tires evolve, and tires allow bikes to evolve because you can get more out of the bike onto the track through the tires. Last time I checked, I haven't seen a bike riding around in rims doing much. The tires are what put the power to the ground. They put the inputs to the ground. They make the bike turn. They make the bike stop and everything else. And Pirelli is absolutely a superior tire to the Dunlops that are being used in the U.S. today. With that said, on Dunlops, Top Rack would still go 3 seconds faster than anybody else in the U.S. I'm sorry.
It's
but
true.
He would also crash his brains out, especially if it was on the tires that MotoAmerica is using. And Reese, you can confirm with this. Dunlop has not made a tire in the U.S. in over a year now. Their factory closed. They're still giving tires and selling tires that were made over a year ago, sometimes 2 years ago. So if you go around the MotoAmerica paddock, if you don't see a Dunlop tire that was made outside the country, that shit has an expiration date, and it's not within the last year. Like, there's tires out there in MotoAmerica that say built in 22. Built in 23. When Pirelli went to Moto 2 and Moto 3, all of a sudden, all the Moto 2 and Moto 3 times went a second and a quarter, or a second and a half faster. Same tracks, same bikes as last year, same riders as last year, but they're going a second faster. Why? Because the year before, they were on Dunlops.
Yep.
And this year, they're on Pirellis. Why do you see so many Moto 2 and Moto 3 lap records falling left and right? Tires make a difference. I'm not saying Pirelli is the greatest tire ever made, but it's definitely at the very tip of the spear, man.
And
it's definitely at the very tip of the spear.
If you look at MotoAmerica and you look at the Superbike times, their Superbikes is still running the US spec Dunlop tire. This is the last year that they're running the US spec tire. If you look at Supersport, go look at the times from last year to this year. Why? Because they're running the Japan spec tire now. Only Supersport is running the tire.
Okay. So
for all the internet engineers, tires make a difference.
Not to be confused with the other IEEE.
Yeah. Tires make a massive difference. And again, there's a lot of great tire companies out there, but at the very top, people really do have to give the flowers to Pirelli, because anytime they step into a series, that series goes faster. It doesn't go slower. And I really want to see what they're going to do when they step into MotoGP, because I don't think they're going to come with a tire that has the issues that they're currently having now. I think they're going to try to resolve the tire pressure issue so they can get rid of that. I think they're going to give them a compound that all the riders are going to like. I mean, they've been making bikes go fast for a very long time in World Superbike. And if they can take that technology and bring it over, I think you're just going to see guys pushing the limits even further and the bike's going even faster. And, again, Toprak would still, I hate to say it, I mean, he would wipe the floor with anybody in the U.S.
Yep.
Because he's Toprak. It's the same way as Marc Marquez. If he came here and like, yeah, I'm going to race this weekend in MotoAmerica, just stay in your pit, bro. I'm going to save all my money from this weekend. I'm not even going to that track. Because there's certain guys, I'm sorry, but there's certain guys that the level of talent and the level of what they can do is just that next 3 or 4 rungs higher than anybody else can seem to get to. Like there's natural talent that you can't teach. You can't learn it. You can't, no matter how many laps you do, this guy can just do that extra 1 or 2 things that nobody else can do, man. And I mean, when I saw that lap time, I was like, man, that dude is flying.
Flying.
A
6'4".
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You know, I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Johnny Ray and Toprak and your boy Alex Lowe's on that podcast. But it seems like Toprak gave Jonathan Ray a lot of credit in learning how to become a champion, learning how to push when even your bike, it moves like a tractor and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys saw that and what your thoughts on that before we move on. And also, is this enough to kind of say MotoAmerica has to do more for next season? Although it sounds like they're going to be going with the European compound version of Dunlop.
The Japanese compound.
Japanese.
Yeah. I saw a little bit of that interview. I didn't catch the whole thing. I actually I've downloaded it so I can listen to it tomorrow since I'll be on the road for several hours. But if there's one thing that I've always seen consistently in every interview that Toprak's ever done, is he has a joyfulness to him. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a racer enjoy being on a motorcycle more. Like, oh, by the way, this is the only stunter I know that actually knows how to ride a bike.
Right. He is.
Sorry to disappoint everybody that's doing wheelies for a mile. This is the only guy that can do a wheelie for a mile, a stoppie for a mile, but then also blow the doors off you on the track. But this dude legitimately loves being on a motorcycle, and he has a humility to him and a humbleness to him where it doesn't hurt him to give people props, which is very rare when you're at the top echelon of a competition sport like this. You typically don't give other people their just desserts or give them credit. And when I heard him talking about that, Ray, I mean, Ray's hasn't done well the last couple of years, but this guy has won a multitude of championships
in a row.
Not in between losing a race here and there, like 6 or 7 in a row. On a Kawasaki that races nowhere else in the world.
Right. As Sam Lowe said, I couldn't ride that bike, and this guy is, fighting for the podium. I'm like 6th or 5th.
Yeah. So again, before the new wave of younger riders come, like, Ray was the benchmark. So for him to say, you know what, Ray kind of, and again, Toprak was it on a Kawasaki in Supersport. So he was part of the Kawasaki team. So he probably did get a lot of input from Ray.
And Superbike. He was on Superbike.
And Superbike,
yeah. We switched.
But again, like, I think that's a really important part of being a champion, is honoring and respecting and looking at what the champions before you did and the legacy they put in place. And then you try to add to that legacy with your own name and with what you do. And then hopefully, at some point, Toprak pays it forward and helps a future champion, kind of find his way and get to that same point. So, I love seeing that stuff, man. That's the kind of thing that we need more of in the sport, to be honest with you.
No doubt. And before we praise Yamaha and the FIM Endurance Series, Reese or TJ, got anything to add about Toprak, Johnny Ray, and that section, and also just him. His last season, Jonathan Ray.
I mean, I definitely want to, like Lewis said, I want to download that and watch it myself because I didn't really see much about it. But yeah, Top Rock is a cool guy. He's very humble. I mean, it's just good to see what he's doing. But Jonathan Hooray is just legend as well, in his own right, for winning all those titles and stuff like that. So you got to pay respect to the great riders and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I definitely want to see. But I also want to know like how Top Rock. I want to know who else was at this track with Top Rock when he was at Coda because it seemed like it was just him.
No, it was
Uh,
Nate Kern, the Orange Cat Racing guys. I mean, there were some amateur racers and stuff like that. Like it was a full on like BMW event, but there were some
that was
other
like crazy.
like Andrew Lee was there, Jason Uribe was there, and a couple of others. But even those guys, they were on the track with him. They were like, "Hey, bro, this guy's the truth, man. This guy's the truth."
That's pretty cool though. It's just a track that you probably just end up at and or pay good money to go to race with those good guys and Top Rock. So,
Right.
I mean, the one thing that it kind of does hurt is like after seeing him at Coda, man, I would wish World Superbike would come back to the U.S. and do a round in the U.S.
yeah,
Man.
man. They
Like
definitely need
even
to throw that on the calendar.
yeah, Laguna
Please.
Seca, even if it's going back to Laguna Seca, go something like we got to get a World Superbike round in the U.S. We can't just have one MotoGP round and nothing else.
I completely agree. Reese, before you switch cameras.
I had the wrong button.
I mean, you guys are taking notice over there, in Yamaha camp and what he's doing.
I mean, you always take notice to what Top Rack's doing. I mean, Top Rack is like it is. He's just an anomaly. He's an alien, but he's a very humble guy. He like Lewis said, he loves the ride. He loves doing what he does, and he actually gives praise to the guys that paved the way for him. And he's one of, like you said, he's one of the only stunt riders that you can see actually blow the doors off you and just blow by you like you're standing still. But he's a very humble guy, and he loves doing what he does. So I mean, you have to give credit to that because he understands. Hey, this person has done what Johnny Ray was 6 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So
6 or 7, yeah.
like he understands that, and that's not an easy task. That's something that you can't ride, and not many people can ride. And that's nothing that's falls short of not being recognized. So he recognizes that, and that's something that sets him apart from a lot of other guys. I
Yeah, I
believe.
I agree, and we've said it on the show already. It seems like lately Ray doesn't get the credit. Like people are acting like he never won a title, much less 6 in a row.
Yeah,
To be the
six
only
and oh.
guy to do it and stuff like that. Hopefully, as time goes on, more people recognize that. But speaking of recognizing stuff, because I didn't really know this was going on either, the FIM Endurance World Championship. This is a big deal. Yamaha looks like they stole one. What are your thoughts on the endurance series, the championship? 8 hours for most of the racetrack, but 24 hours for Le Mans on a bike. Headlights, you got flashing things on your body if you crash because it gets dark, that kind of thing. What do you guys thoughts on endurance racing, and should we have more of it? And we have it in the Azra series and the Wera series and stuff like that. I've participated in one of the endurance, a couple of 3 hours, a couple of 5 hours. I think it's it kind of shows you who you are. So it tells you the truth about yourself, kind of thing. What are you guys' thoughts on the series and the weekend that just happened? We'll start with TJ.
I mean, yeah, it's unfortunately I didn't see like the whole race or anything like that. I just saw clips. But overall, I think endurance racing is really cool. Definitely got to be in shape and mentally ready for that. 8 hours is a very long time, and Le Mans 24 hours is just insane. But I think like we were talking earlier, it should be like marketed a little more because they don't really know about it. It seems like it is a series that goes on, and we just caught the last round of it. but just to see bikes in a different aspect, like you don't think bikes can race at night. Like what precautions do you take riding at night? Do you turn it down from like mapping 3 to mapping 2 or something like that? Like take down the RPMs a little bit, or
They got
extra
they,
lights. What do
they
you?
got they got to take advice from all the riders that got all them lights on their bikes in the city.
So I mean, and then it's just pretty cool to see though. So I think it should bring more attention to it. So definitely next year, going into the series, I'm gonna definitely watch it with the Mons first. It seems like it usually is, and for some reason Suzuka is the biggest one, which when we talking about, I thought was the only one as well. But like we was talking about, it's a whole series, so I think it's really cool.
Right. Reese, what are your thoughts? Your guys ever think about going to go do some of these endurance races?
No. Like you gotta be in shape for that, man. You gotta be mentally prepared, physically prepared. I mean, that's a lot. 24 hours and 8 hours. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ridden a bike for 8 hours, but that's a lot. I've ridden behind Lewis for about an hour and I was dead. So it's not something easy. I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the full race. I saw a couple of bits of it, but I think it's pretty neat. Like I said, they need to advertise a little bit more. And make it a little bit more public, so a lot of people can watch it more and bring it more to the forefront, instead of just kind of talking about it. But I think it'd be nice to actually go see it personally, me myself.
I
I think that'd
agree.
be good.
I don't know if you saw the clip where one guy's bike he crashed and the bike caught on fire. And I mean, the bike is like a barn fire, and he's running to the bike like he can get on for a second. Like what is that with riders? Are they just in a different space that they don't like see? Like there's a big ball of flame they're running to.
Well, no, they do see it, but their mindset is like, hey, if I can get it back to the pit, at least ride it back to the pit and get it fixed. Like, if there's a red flag, I can get back in the race. That's their mindset. Always get that bike back to us to get it fixed, to get it so we can they can get back in the race just in case there is a red flag. And normally, sometimes, a lot of times, if they crash bad or anything like that, they're going to red flag it. But if they can ride it back on their own power, they can actually, repeat.
That's one repair job right there. Lewis, I mean, I asked you just off. I asked you this off here, because I didn't notice until the crash that the riders, their suit light up and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about that, and also what your thoughts on the race?
Yeah, well, the technology, when you're doing endurance racing specifically, and it's endurance racing that you gotta consider the weather becomes a factor in endurance racing over the long stretch of period. So you might start it's sunny, and 45 minutes in, it starts to rain, it gets dark, it gets cloudy. If you're racing overnight, like in the Le Mans 24-hour, you're racing overnight. And a lot of these tracks aren't equipped with lights. So the only lights you have are the few lights that are on the track and the lights that are on your bike. So in the event you crash, you want some way to be seen, because if you crash in the middle of the darkness and somebody's coming around the turn behind you at full pop and they didn't see you crash and you're laying on the track, you become a speed bump. So, we used to have a suit that actually had an LED on the back of the hump. And if you crashed and the airbag went off, the LED would start blinking. So that way people can kind of see that you're on the ground or something like that. But in these particular races where they're going overnight and they have weather conditions, a lot of them do have little LED pieces that they put on their suits or so forth. So in the event they crash, they do start to blink. Some of them actually stay on the entire race, or they turn them on and they do all the laps with the light on so that they can just be seen. Because you got to think, in an 8-hour endurance race, it's going to show you what you're made of. Like, I like to equate it to kind of what Habib Nurmagomedov from MMA said one time. He says he takes people into deep waters and they find out who they really are. And that's what endurance racing does. Endurance racing takes you into deep waters and you get to find out what you're made of. Are you going to make the 8 hours? Are you going to make this 24 hours? Are you going to be able to rotate with one or two other guys? Because I think some of these teams are usually 3 riders. Right. Sometimes they're 2 riders. But think about it. 2 riders over 24 hours. You're talking about you're going to split 12 hours riding between each other. So you're going to have at least like a 45 to 1 hour stint in between, and you're still going to have some pit stops in between because you got to change tires, you got to refuel. I mean, you really do go into some deep waters and you find out what you're made of, man. Your steel is different. Plus, it also engages the rest of the team because if you think about it, in a normal race, the team preps your bike, you go and they sit back and they hope everything they did works, but it's on you. Now with pit stops, the team actually becomes a very important part of just the overall race itself, not just sitting back and see what happens, but now they're actually involved in the race. I've always said I would like to see a couple of more rounds in the US that are kind of like Daytona where pit stops are required because the length of the race is so long.
Right.
Even if we just do it maybe at one or two tracks, I think it would be that extra bit of like enjoyment and entertainment as a spectator sport. Like if we took the Dakota race, for instance, and took it from 22 laps and put it up to 50 laps.
That would be dope.
Let's see.
Man, you trying to make us cost more money, man.
And all right, we won't have two races this weekend, but we're gonna have one long ass race this weekend. It's still the same amount of money as you would with two races, except now it's all happening over the next 2 hours. We're gonna see what team, what bike, and what rider is gonna be able to pull it off. Because there ain't gonna be no chubby riders left, man. These guys are gonna have to get on their bikes and make sure they're in shape.
Yeah, you have to get rid of all those quarter-mile mechanics and get these diesel mechanics to survive 8 hours. I mean, that's a completely different bike than a super bike.
You add in a pit stop, you add in, a tire change, you do all these things, and now at least for those 1 or 2 rounds, you got these extra couple elements. It's one of the reasons I love Daytona. I only love Daytona because of the pit stops, because now there's a whole different element that you have to take into account, and it just it's a different level of excitement, man. A guy could have a good pit stop and all of a sudden gain 3 or 4 spaces, or a guy that was walking away with it could have a shit pit stop and now all of a sudden the gaps are all gone and now you got to start fighting again. You can't just walk away and it's a parade for the next 12 14 laps. No, it's a race, man. It's a race till the checkered flag comes out.
Yeah, no, I listen. I did it once, and I hope to do some more. So I have a sign up list, guys. Let me know if you're going first.
I'm busy that weekend.
Or third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to talk that crap? Now you go out there.
Hey, I'm not in endurance race shape.
Hey, I got a question though. Why isn't Daytona a part of the MotoAmerica series? I mean, I know it's like a classic. Oh, okay.
Next year, next year it will be.
Yeah, starting next year, the points there will be points that count towards a championship, because this is one of the reasons a lot of the teams haven't been going to Daytona, because it's very expensive to go and the points didn't count towards a championship.
It's very expensive.
I mean, dude, just renting one room at Daytona for 4 days, you're talking thousands of dollars. So if you got a pit crew of like 10 people, mechanics, everything else, plus your racers, just in hotels, you're going to spend at least 30 grand. Most of the teams actually rent big Airbnbs, and Reese, you can confirm, like most of the teams try to find like 5 or 6 bedroom or 3 or 4 bedroom houses and rent the Airbnb, and everybody sleeps in the same house because just to try to keep the cost down. Because a hotel room in Daytona during that stretch, you're talking between $300 and $600 a night.
Yeah. And then you got to think about it. This is another thing people don't realize, and everybody gets pissed. But Daytona, those bikes get used one time for the year. That's it. You make one bike for one race. That's it. That bike sits in the garage for the rest of the time. So you spent about $60,000 on just one bike for one race.
So Reese, tell us how you really feel about the news coming out.
Listen, I ain't got nothing to worry about. Superbike ain't there.
He's good.
I'm good. I'll be over there like, hey, how y'all doing?
So I'm just glad that I'm gonna have like a hospitality suite that I can go eat their food now.
Well, see, now he has a hospitality suite, so that just told me I'm only 30 minutes down the way, so I'm coming to the hospitality suite.
No, I was talking about yours. I was gonna go eat at Attack.
That's what I said. I mean, are you guys not thinking about running the 200 because of that? I mean, or is it just the super sport folks need to worry about that?
That's just super sport. It's just like when you're so now that it's part of the points, it's kind of hard for like just us to just jump in and just do one round because it's part of the points. It doesn't count for us. but then it actually counts for the super sport guys. And you got your guys getting ready for the Superbike challenge. They're getting ready for the Superbike series. They're getting ready for coming up. What the first round is? What, Barber again or Atlanta? So they're getting ready for. We're doing testing and prep and getting ready for that. So it's kind of not pointless for us to go.
Right. Now, I say, I hear you say it's one bike, but is it really just a whole bike? It's not just the engine, not just the tranny. Is it literally chassis? Everything is just for that.
One bike. That's it.
You can't use the same bar handles, nothing. It's got to be a different
Literally,
one.
literally the bike that we ran at Daytona 200 is still sitting in the shop.
Wow.
It still sits there.
Wow.
But why though? But why? Because it's just too much to like transfer, or it's just what's required at Daytona.
It's just too much. So you got suspension, you got tires. You only can run those tires that Dunlop gives
Daytona
you
tires.
at Daytona.
Yep.
And then you
Yeah, I
have a
heard
bigger
about that.
gas tank. You got a bigger gas tank. You know what I mean? You got that. You got everything. It's just everything. Certain pieces on that bike are set up for like a quick change when we got to do the tire change. It's certain things that's set up on there for that. So once you're done with it, what are we going to use that bike for?
Can't you just get a
Yeah,
super stock bike like Top Rock?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, endurance is set up for endurance, so pretty
Yeah.
much.
So
So
it's just a lot. There's an interview when I think it was on Instagram that Richie from Ray Hall put out, and he was saying how much it's going to cost them to do,
Just
for
the
the
one
Daytona
race.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think
saw
it was
that.
like 60, 80 grand just in
Wow.
one bike. So imagine you got two riders. There's, you know, 160,000 right there you just spent. That's just on the bikes. Now you still got to bring your riders in. You still got to, you may not have to house them. They can house themselves. Or then you still got to bring your crew in. You still got to house, make sure they have a room. You still got to, pay for their flights. You still got to pay for their food, their lunch while
Food.
they're there. It's a
what's the
lot.
next town
Fuel.
over? Tell them to sleep in the next town over.
I mean,
The next town over is just expensive at Daytona. Because remember, it happens during bike week.
yeah,
So
I was
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
yeah. I was gonna say this too. So I mean, when as I know, I didn't mean the show to go this route, but we might as well talk about this. Like when Azra was running the series, you could just show up on a bike and race it. You know what I'm saying? And now you're looking at these numbers. Is it good for Daytona? Are we going to see fewer riders? Because listen, man, we talk about sunning people and what Top Rock did, or talking about Scott Greenwood trying to break people's will. When people hear that, these teams are spending 120, and dudes looking like I got $8,000. Like, why am I going to go as one of these riders who's really fast? But how do you compete with that?
I mean, if you want me to answer, I'll answer that. It's just like, okay, so you take the NBA, right? You got the top players. What are they spending on nutrition, training, everything else? They're the top guys for a reason, right? You're not running a charity case. You're in the pros. This is what it is. This is what you got to do, right? You're not here the pros are here to win, to separate the amateurs or the club riders, right? They're there. It's the same thing what they're doing in the stock 1000 class. People complaining, but you're here to win. You're here to compete. You're in the pro series for a reason. You're not here in the club series. So you want to step up into the pro series. Now this is what you got to compete with. This is the nature of the beast. You're in the pros. They're not in the club series no more. And then you get people that want to complain about it, but then when it goes away, you're like, oh well, it went away. Racing went away. Well, it was just a club race. You can do that anywhere, right? So this is the pros.
The Daytona 200 isn't anywhere.
It's not anywhere, but it's the pros running it now, right? Everybody got mad when the pros weren't there, so now the pros are here. So it's either, hey, you got to step up, or hey, here's a bench right here for you. Watch, take a seat and watch.
And to hear Deion Sanders tell it, you can't learn anything from the bench.
yeah.
It's sad to say, man. So
All right, let's talk about this weekend in the MotoAmerica Jersey, the last round. I wish I was there. All you three guys are going to be there. I think Reese is probably going to lose the most weight You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Jersey. We'll hear from TJ and Lewis, and then we'll talk to Reese. You go. I think this is your second year going, TJ. So what does like Jersey mean for you and checking out Motor America? And kind of, I know who your guys are. We all know who your guy is. So we don't have to necessarily. We already know who you want to win. So
Hold on, I don't. Who's this?
Whoa. Hold on, who is it? Who is it, Rexy? What are you talking about?
come on, man. Harry is not your guy.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Don't do that to me right now. Don't do that to me right now. Don't do that to me in front of Reese and tag Yamaha.
Come on.
Man. Come on.
We got people that listen to the show.
Yeah,
TJ,
they're big
man.
Heron fans that listen, man.
Yes.
There's
We
Yeah,
got
no,
big hair fans.
no. Like I said, I'm a Josh Herring fan. Before I got into racing, like that was my guy. And I actually went to a Ducati event, was on the track with him. So like, and I had conversations with him. He used my toolbox and all that good stuff. So I had a little, it's like, I'll talk with him and stuff like that. But
he stole
you
your
know,
10, didn't he? He stole your 10
no,
mil,
no,
didn't he? They always steal the 10 mil, bro. They always steal the 10
I
mil.
don't know what he was using actually. He was trying to install a camera onto his bike, and he needed
Oh
something.
man.
So So, but anyway, but yeah, I definitely would like to root for Yamaha as well. Bobby Foley's been doing really well. Like he surprised me from the time he joined the team. Like I didn't expect him to be runner, in the lead for the championship. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for Bobby Fawn for one. But Josh Herron at the end of the day is my guy. So like I know how hard he's going to try, and like you said, all the excuses he's going to give because of the story that's going on. He doesn't want to lose his number one place. Come on. So like he's going to do whatever he can to try to survive throughout the season. So it's going to be 3 races this weekend. It's going to be interesting, but Ducati or Yamaha, that's what I'm going for. But I hope Bobby pulls it out for sure.
All right. Balance answer, man. I'm a big fan of the Jersey track. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got there, it was weird for me, and doing enough races on it, I'm a really big fan of that track. It should be a fun and entertaining time. What are your thoughts, Lewis? I know you're kind of. We don't want to tell you you're gonna be working, but you're gonna be working.
I'm gonna be working. I usually when I'll watch the races, but in between, like I'm pretty much working. I mean, Bobby's my boy, obviously. So, I want him to win. Bobby's been in the series for a long time, and I've known Bobby way longer than I should, to be honest with you. I've seen him struggle. I've seen his hard times trying to get rides, trying to, be competitive and everything. And last year he had a really great opportunity with the wrench team, and he really showed that he rededicated himself to the sport and showed some real flashes of brilliance last year. And he was lucky enough to get the ride this year with Yamaha. And, he knows that, or he knew at the beginning of the year, like it was a 1-year deal. So he just had to kind of come into the series in the best shape that he's ever been in and focus everything he can. And that's what he did, man. I mean, during the off season, he worked out constantly. Every day he worked out. I mean, I want to say he lost about 18 pounds during the off season. Like he trimmed down, he got in great shape. Like he really dedicated his life to this, man. And it would be great if he can pull this one out, man. But if he can't, I mean, the other person that I'm really happy for is Cameron Beaubier, because the last couple of years, I mean, Cameron Beaubier is a multi-time U.S. champion. He went to Moto2 and he had a wretched time in Moto2. He never really was able to put anything together. And then he came back here and, he's not on what you would consider the best equipment. I mean, everybody thinks the BMW is great. The BMW is great, but, you can hear from the people that ride it. It's also a hard bike to ride, man. The bike is not an easy bike to ride. And he's had a couple of hard years with a lot of injuries. So if he was able to pull it out also and Bobby didn't, I'd still be happy for him too. Because, these two guys, I've known them a long time. I've talked to them a lot. And, they're both in it for the love of the game, man. Neither one of them has any guarantees for next year. Neither one of them knows where they're riding next year, or even if they're riding at this point, even going into the last round. So both of them are going to be, really trying to put it all out there. And the thing with both of them is, if you watch them race, even at Coda, even when the two of them were dicing it up, they were real clean about it, man. They weren't trying to push each other off the track or do anything sketchy to each other. Like, they had this mutual respect in the way that they raced each other. They raced hard, but they raced clean. And that's what I want to see, man. If these two guys can get out front and really race each other hard and clean. You know, Jersey is not a high-speed track.
Mm-hmm.
So horsepower is not the end-all and be-all. So the BMW is not just going to be able to get on the throttle and pull away. It's a technique track. It's a style track. It's a technical track. And it doesn't have a lot of passing areas. So you got to be super clean, because if you don't pass clean, I mean, you will take yourself out as well as somebody else. So it's going to be really great to just, you know, some people don't like Jersey at the end of the year because the weather always sucks. Knock on wood, it looks like it's going to hold out this year. And I hope that we get a great, you know, 3 races, man. There's 3 races this weekend.
Right.
So it's not just, you know, Saturday and Sunday. There's like a 3rd race that, if the points are still there, literally we can have 3 nail-biting one after the other races throughout the weekend. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm hoping my boy comes through, because like, I know how much it means to him, man. You know, I talk to him almost every day, and I just know how much it'll mean to him.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine. And Reese, you probably know it better than all of us. You know, I'm trying to think of a basketball analogy. I think of, like, you know, the Spurs and, you know, Kawhi winning young and then going to Toronto, and nobody thought like he would have got anything would have happened in Toronto, and he got one in Toronto. I mean, this is I don't want to say it's a fairy tale, but you know, dreamers, you know, they get their chance. And, you know, you guys saw something in him, signed him. And I can't imagine any of you guys, and if you did say it, and I don't know if you can say it on air, might have joked about it, but like, hey, this guy's going to be competing for the championship at the end of the season when you signed him. But like, now you are, you know, he's leading the points. You know, it can, we will find out this weekend. But what are your thoughts on how he's doing? You know, when you guys signed him to where he is now, and can you guys believe it? Was it like, you know, you just knew this? I mean, you did talk about it, but you kind of have to talk about it, right? You can't sit here and get on air and be like, yeah, we're not gonna make it this year. You know, you got to lie to yourself before you start seeing it, right? Because I had to do it. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here reaching out to Lewis, like, hey man, you want to come on the show a year ago, and you know, you know, now look at us now. So, you know, life is about dreaming. So, you know, what are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, you got to look at last year. You got to look at the year Bobby had on a wrench team. I mean, you knew signing him that he was going to be one of the top contenders coming in. I mean, that he did some things on that R1 that nobody else was doing. Our guys were hurt. You know, Jake and Cam P was hurt, and then Jake stepped away to get his stuff repaired, and we had our substitutions. But knowing him coming in, and when we signed him, we knew he could compete for the top spot and the top guys. A lot of teams had us, checked out, saying, we're not going to win. So for us to be here, we're enjoying the moment, and we're going to go for it as best we can. We always know that we're going to compete, and we come every weekend to compete. We don't bring nothing weak, and we bring everything we got and say, hey, let's go. Let's make the R1 great again.
You guys don't bring any Temu chains with you.
Nah, I don't bring the Temu chain.
Yeah, we don't need none of that.
Bring the good stuff.
Breaking out nothing but the good stuff. So, what is the mood like, Reese, man, for this weekend? As much as you can give out, obviously weather may play a big part. I haven't checked the satellite to see if there's going to be any rain and stuff like that. But is it business as usual, or is it it depends after the first practice and see what people's times are and stuff like that, and then the game plan happens from there?
No, it goes in as business as usual. I mean, if it rains, it rains. I mean, that R1 in the wet is one of the most dominant bikes in the wet. I mean, Richard's going to make you a wet specialist. I mean, that bike in the wet is phenomenal. Bobby used to didn't like the wet. Now he doesn't mind the wet. So we're coming business as usual. If it's rain or shine, let's just go.
All right, Lewis, who's taking it? TJ got Heron. Is your money on? I mean, you have. I guess you got to say Bobby. You can't say.
I got to say Bobby, man. Like, I have to put all my chips in on Bobby because, again, man, 3 years ago, Bobby wasn't even racing, man. And then he got an opportunity to race a couple of baggers to make some quick money, doing the dash for cash and things like that. And that kind of evolved into doing more baggers the following year. And that kind of evolved into him getting the wrench ride. And so, the past 3-4 years for Bobby, I mean, unemployed, employed, unemployed, like, racing a bagger, hoping to win $5,000 so he can, pay some bills. Like he's had a real tumultuous last few years. And dude, I mean, this is his opportunity. I mean, you don't get too many bites of the carrot at this age. I had to say it, Bobby's in his 30s, and in your 30s, you don't get a ton of bites in the carrots with a lot of young kids coming up. So I really hope he pulls it out, man. I hope everything comes together, and he's able to do it, man.
Yeah,
hey, drinks on TJ if we win too.
I got you. I'll be there to the last race. We'll see what happens.
No doubt. And I want to shout out to Nathan Betancourt, and I hope he does well. He had a giveaway last night for some tickets, and Be Forever Cool won. I was able to donate those tickets to TJ, and he's going to show up and rep and stuff like that. And hopefully we'll have him on the show in the near future. He's a young and up and coming. Before we get into MotoGP, speaking of young and up and coming, Dorna CEO has on social media, is if it's to be believed, he wants more people in MotoGP other than the Italians and the Spaniards. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I'm thinking some Jamaicans are ready.
Might as well start up the team. Might as well start up the team. But no, I mean, it needs to be diverse more. It was just I don't know. I just feel like it should be more diverse. Obviously, you have to be up to speed and be competitive because, if you're not fast enough, you can't be out there. But just develop a team and make it more diverse. Well, it's good to hear him say that. And then not to cut off real quick, but I was going to MotoAmerica anyway, but I appreciate Ben Court. We get those tickets, so appreciate you, Rex, for that.
That's what's up. What are your thoughts, Reese, on that? I mean, is it lip service? Because like TJ say, man, you got to have the pace. You can't. I mean, it's there's some things in life that you can show up and maybe not be good at. Like maybe making coffee and burgers. But there's a lot more that goes behind being good enough to compete at that level.
Hey, Stanka, you're dead, man. We might have a team. But I mean, there is a lot more than just is showing up and race. I mean, you got to have pace. You got to have, the right crew behind you, the people you can trust. I mean, because, at the end of the day, the riders are just riders. They're just there, they're entrusting their team to put the bike together, the guys that have this bike ready for them and not kill them. So they're entrusting those guys to have this bike up and running just like our guys are. So, I mean, there's a lot more just to show up. So, I mean, there's a lot of fast guys out here. But at the end of the day, I look at it like just as any sport. We could be out here working. They're out there just practicing, doing what they got to do. So you got to put the time and effort in and put the work and pave your way and pay a little bit to get that practice in and just go forward. Just put all your money and chips in one basket and say, hey, we're going to try this out. Go.
Right. You're listening, man. All the yachties out there that think y'all fast. I tell you, it's our time. Cool runnings. What your thoughts?
You want to kiss my egg, man?
I think it's a great notion, but it's just words until there's actual actions, and until there's actually a plan. because the reason that the Spaniards and the Italians dominate is because, you know, these kids are indoctrinated into motorcycle racing at a very young age. And there's an infrastructure in both of those countries that nurture that talent. You know, you can race a little pocket bike. There's areas for them to race pocket bikes every weekend. There's opportunities for them to come up racing and to kind of grow with the sport and to evolve over time. And, you know, this is part of the culture of those particular countries. I mean, and several other countries in Europe. But we don't have that here in the U.S. There's no infrastructure here in the U.S. for that kind of support. I mean, we have mini GPs and we have all these little go-kart tracks that do like mini motos and things like that. But it really takes a lot of time and money. And then the other thing is, if you look at on the inside, Dorna needs to fix some things on the inside as well. There's not enough manufacturers in MotoGP. There's not enough bikes. There's not enough seats. You know, there's limited opportunities even for the riders in Moto2 now from the countries that are all competing in Moto2 now. Do I want to see more diversity? Yeah, I'd like to see more people of different colors, different races, different backgrounds, different countries. You know, I would like to see, someone like Top Rack is going to be a MotoGP. Like, that's great for the MotoGP because this introduces MotoGP to an entire segment of the world that has nobody to root for. You know, you got Morbidelli that was raised in Italy, but he has Brazilian roots. Like, that's the only person from all of South America. You're going to tell me throughout all Mexico, South America, and Central America, there's not another talent? We have talent here in the U.S., but, you know, nobody's giving them seats. Nobody's giving them opportunities. So I think if the Dorna really wants to see this, there needs to be some money and some incentive behind it. You know, maybe Dorna puts some money where their mouth is. And hey, if you bring in a rider from the US or you bring in a rider from one of these other countries, we'll give you some sort of financial support. We'll give you this and that, you know, we'll something to incentivize the teams to look outside of the normal pools where they look. Because if you're not going to incentivize them, if they still have to pay what they have to pay, then they're not going to take risks on people. They're going to go where it's the easiest path, the path of least resistance, and where there's a big talent pool. They're not going to look outside of Italy and Spain and France and so forth and so on. So that's my only thing is if Dorna is really serious about this, there has to be money behind it, not just words, because words don't mean anything until somebody shows up with a checkbook.
Yeah. And if you're a stunt rider out there,
and if you're a stunt rider, start looking, man. Stop going to the track, man.
Right.
And I have something to piggyback on with Lou.
Go ahead.
I got something to piggy on back with Lou. It's like, you know, he's correct. You know, they do need some more manufacturers out here. But again, you know, Lou's correct. And I tell everybody, you know, from being on the inside, it actually, a lot of people don't understand this, but it actually starts with us as consumers, as fans, as anyone. It starts with us. You want the manufacturers out there, you have to go to the race, and you have to stop buying bikes from secondhand. Because if you don't buy, bikes are expensive. They're a shit ton of money. We all understand that. Even if you just buy the little bikes, just buy a little bike. It doesn't matter what kind of bike you buy it brand new. That's where the money comes from for the manufacturer to say, okay, let's go race. We have money to spend. So if you're not buying the bike, you sit there and you say, I want to buy it, and you're buying it from a second hand. Oh, I bought this, but it's a Yamaha. That does nothing for the manufacturer. They already got their money from the person you paid for it the first time. So you buying it second hand from a dealer or whatever, the money that you're buying it is just going to the dealer or to that person. So you have to buy new and start getting out here and support to get the manufacturers back. Just sitting back talking trash and want to see it and want to understand it, they're not going to do it. A lot of people think that the manufacturers got money. They don't. They ain't got the money. That's why Cowie's sitting back.
I agree with you. Buy more new bikes because that way used bikes can be a lot cheaper. Used bikes is just way too expensive. I'm sorry.
It is. The market has changed. And I found out that Cowie wants to build a new one, but to build a new platform, a new power plant, because everything is the lightweight now, the lightweight crankshaft, the lightweight pistons, everything. It's going to cost them about $2 million just to build a new platform in that part. So that gives you an idea on what money they're spending just to build something for us to have in these streets.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's the main thing. A lot of our fans, a lot of the people in this industry, a lot of fellow riders, they don't understand that we vote with our wallets. Like
Yes.
that's the only vote that we have. That's the only real say we have is how we use our wallets. And when we go out there, and I understand if you're a new rider, you're gonna look for a used bike or something inexpensive. But a new bike is maybe a couple of $1,000 more, but it'll be your bike. You're the first owner. You can go through that experience of building it the way you want, learn on it, and kind of evolve from there. Used bikes are great. I mean, I've owned a bunch of used bikes, but I've also owned a bunch of new bikes, and there's got to be a little bit of mix. We can't just keep recycling used bikes between each other for eternity, because if you look at what's happened over the past 10 years, there's been less development in new bikes because new bike sales are not where they should be. The only company that is actively investing in new bike technology over and over seems to be Ducati. Why? Because they're selling a lot of Ducatis. Not right now, but they have been. But they've been selling a lot of Ducatis. And as they sell Ducatis, they can race more, they can develop more bikes, they can do this and that. So, it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, without buying new bikes, these companies aren't going to invest in our sport because we're not investing in our sport.
Right.
So it's
Right.
an important thing.
And another part of that I'm starting to see in the the bike meetup community. I feel that, and maybe a little bit in track community too. If you're a new rider and you have a bad experience, you take that with you forever. And you become this other creature when somebody's trying to promote the sport. You're like the grumpy old men on the Muppets, just complaining about everything and stuff like that. And that's unfortunate, because that jades the community. We know all these things happen, but we have to find a way to give new riders a better experience, because
We do.
once they go sideways, that they ain't coming back, and then they go tell everybody that they're that they whatever motorcycles are not for you or
Right.
something like that.
Like I had a guy complain at me on IG saying that, oh, there's a bunch of manufacturers over in World Superbike. I'm like, there's none. They're all factory supported. But it's that one person that's going to go tell the next person, they go tell this, and it just spreads like a disease. And it's like, instead of sitting there doing your research and look at it, or listen to a person that's been in the industry. I've been in the industry now since '96. It is now so. Take my advice. It's there's a lot that goes on that people don't see.
No doubt. And speaking of Ducati, they just released a new V4. What can I
The
say?
V4R,
The V4R.
great, more money.
No, well, I mean, what's money? Reese, come on, you're in the top level of MotoAmerica. Come on, what's money?
A lot. But you know what I
holding that trophy open this weekend is going to be more than that.
I say about Ducati. Listen, it's nice to be partners with Lambo and Volkswagen Group, ain't it?
It is. I got some Volkswagen stock. Don't worry. Because trust me, if they didn't have the back end, they would be more closer to MV Agusta or Aprilia. If they didn't have the back end, and that's the biggest thing, because where their tech can compete with the Japanese, that's all street money.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's good for Ducati that they can build a bike that sells for $50K and they can actually sell the bike.
Yeah.
Like that's all I can say.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Bro.
Yamaha builds an R1M that's $24,000, and people are like, "What for a Yamaha?" I might. But
Right.
somebody comes out with a Ducati that's 50 grand. It's like, where do I sign on the dotted line? It's like, wait a second.
Listen,
For working in a dealership.
I got my
That red.
V4. I'm like, oh, dude, you could have just got the R.
But from working in the
get you.
dealership, I used to hear people say that a lot. Like, why would I spend 24 grand on an R1 when I can spend 24 grand and get a Ducati and be part of the elite family?
So here used to be my retort when I was P&M at a dealership, is just because you can afford to buy something doesn't mean you can afford to own something.
Right. Or you can't afford the maintenance.
Exactly. A Yamaha might be, a few thousand. A Yamaha R1M might be a few thousand less than this Ducati. But when it comes to maintenance, that's when it's going to hit you. And luckily, for years, Ducati has evolved their technology. Before they went to the chain driven and they were just belt driven, and you had to do a Desmo service like every so many thousand miles.
Yeah. If
Owning
I
a Ducati was painful.
if I read right, it's 24K no matter how long you have the bike warranty.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
24.
That's
So
crazy.
Ducati, you got to service it annually or by miles, no matter what. And you got to do the Desmo at that point,
Yeah.
at that certain miles. And that Desmo service is expensive.
So I mean, and a lot of people are gonna put 24K on their Ducati. So a lot of service is gonna be free. But let's move on to Motegi before we get out of here.
Japan.
Yes, I can't wait to go. It was one of my bucket list places to go watch MotoGP and just appreciate the country as well. What are your thoughts? I mean, history could be made as far as Marc Marquez winning the championship in Motegi. It sounds like it. He's probably already consoling his brother, saying, "Look, Alex, I waited long enough, man. Come on, man. Look, I gotta do it."
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Is it going to be done, or are we going to see some riders push him to the next round?
No.
It's done. It's done.
It's
I
done.
mean, at this point of the season, I mean, Mark's pretty much stayed up the whole year. He hasn't gone down how he used to go down on the Honda. I think his brother has to. I mean, it's like a 3 point difference or something that has to be outscored or something like that. But we're gonna see another champion this weekend. So we're gonna see a champion in MotoAmerica. We're gonna see a champion in MotoGP. It's gonna be a good weekend. But I'm hoping KTM can redeem himself also for having a terrible weekend. But it looks like from last year they had one of the fastest times. So we'll see how it plays out. But we're gonna have a champion regardless.
We got 3 champions to crown this weekend: Super Sport, Superbike, and MotoGP.
Right?
That's it.
All right. So that's it, huh?
And only one of the 3 is not pretty much guaranteed, because the other 2 are pretty much guaranteed.
Pretty much. Serious.
You want to elaborate for people who are listening that may question what this?
I don't see.
I know who you're talking about.
I don't see Matthew Schultz not winning the championship at Jersey.
Okay.
And I don't see Marc Marquez not winning the championship at Motegi when he only needs 3 points.
Gotcha.
So the only one that's up for real debate or nail biting is the Superbike Championship in MotoAmerica, because it's razor thin, man. But looking at the weather for Motegi this weekend, it looks in the low 80s, partly cloudy, and maybe some AM showers on Sunday. But other than that, it looks clean. Mark's won there in the dry. Mark's won there in the wet. Mark's won several championships there. So it's not much more else to say, man.
Yeah,
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't see any way that he gets out of this weekend without 3 more points than his brother. Like that's insane. 3 points, man. I mean, you can finish 17.
I can sneeze and get 3 points. I can get sneezed and get 3 points.
He's won 3 times. He's never got pole position. So
and clinched 2 championships there.
He did. I mean, it was. Listen, it was. We won't talk about the one with
Lorenzo. That should have told you right there when you said he's never hit pole and still won. What else do you need to say?
Fair enough. Pretty
much.
That's in the cover that.
Ducati's been generally strong there, so it's possible that some of the riders may show up. It's I mean, I will say this. No. I will say this because I'm the youngest. To my knowledge, Pops hasn't told me otherwise. I'm waiting for Alex to listen. All right, man, come on, man. Like the youngest got to like Michael Jackson. I mean, there's so many youngest. I like, he, what I'm saying. He might be able to take out his brother and finish the race.
Nah. I got a better chance of hitting the
He's gonna
lotto.
give him the Rossi in the corner, just kick him off, let him look at him, kick the corner,
No,
keep going.
Aaron
Sorry,
Cena.
bro.
Aaron Cena. Just crash into him at the at the takeoff. Start of the
Somebody
race.
got to get points.
I got a better chance of hitting the lottery.
Man. I mean, I gotta assume it gotta be tough for Alex, because you know, outside of his brother, you know what I'm saying? And I guess maybe this might have been the first time that he's had to compete with his brother as well, because Mark was kind of always ahead of him. So he was always just kind of chasing Mark. So it's the first time that they're in the same class on at 1 and 2. So psychologically that even though he shows like he's cool as a cucumber, it has to be difficult. And even you see with Mark and saying, even when not Mazzano, the round before Mazzano is like, if I won in this round, that means Alex didn't do well. And stuff like that. So I mean, we've heard it from Serena and Venus when they had to compete against each other and stuff like that for championships and whatnot. I mean, as parents, I can't imagine like what Dad can't be winking at Mark, while hugging Alex. This has got to be a tough thing, and cool as well for MotoGP.
Yeah,
I say
man.
yeah. Listen, you want to go, T?
Yeah, go ahead, you got it.
I mean, it's got to be tough for him, but I mean, at the same time, not Mark. Alex hasn't really done that great over his GP career. So it's like you can kind of take the good and the bad. I mean, he's like, yeah, it's tough. I got to be behind my brother, but at the same time, it shows what I can do and what kind of riding capability I have. That I've been yearning for to show people that I can do. I'm up here battling with the 8-time champion, my brother. I'm battling with him. I'm 1 and 2 with him. So it shows the competitive nature of him, and it shows his talent finally. So you got to take it as a stepping stone for him, so you got to take it saying, yeah, you were battling your brother, it sucks, but it also shows some greatness that is with you. So
Right. I hear what you're saying, and I want to say this. I don't know how much you guys follow tennis, but there was a match at Wimbledon with Federer and Andy Roddick. It went for like 5 hours for 5 sets. They split sets. They had to go to tie in the 5th round tiebreaker, and Roddick won. Federer won, and Roddick was like, "What else can I do?" I mean, if this is Alex Marquez's best year and he doesn't win, Roddick retired, and threw away pretty much all his trophies. I'll ask Lewis, you're the numbers guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, could this be detrimental for Alex?
No, I don't think it is, because again, he just finished second in the world championship to possibly one of the greatest riders to ever throw his leg over a motorcycle. Whether it's his brother or not, if you take the brother equation out and he was just Alex Lopez racing against Marc Marquez, he's still racing one of the greatest riders to ever throw their leg over a motorcycle. And he came in second place on a satellite bike. So I don't think there's anything there's no reason for him to leave this season with anything but his head held high. He did better than anyone ever expected him to do. He did better than the 2-time world champion,
1-time world champion,
or 1.5 times world champion. No, Pecco's won 2.
No, I meant Martin,
Quartararo. Those don't count.
those
but
are
I'm saying,
luck.
he came in second place in a championship that's loaded with a lot of talent. And he came in second place behind one of the greatest riders ever, so he has nothing to be worried about, nothing to complain about. I mean, there's an interview online for those of you that are not Spanish. Try to find it and see if you can get it translated. But he goes into a lot of details about the sacrifices he made as a kid because he wasn't as talented as his brother. And he says, very plainly in this interview that he was never the most talented rider. He's still not the most talented rider. He knows riders with more talent. They just don't outwork him.
Right.
When other kids were out at parties,
him and Luca Marini see eye to eye.
Yeah. Him and Luca Marini see eye to eye, except Luca's a little further back right now because of the bike he's on. But they're both living in the shadow of greatness. They're the 4-story building next to the Empire State Building. It's a nice building, but that's the Empire State Building, my man. It casts a big ass shadow and it covers your entire little building, even though it's a nice building, brand new, nice sauna, good gym, still Empire State Building, and that's the way you have to look at it.
Damn.
I'm glad I'm like Michael Jackson.
I do know one thing that Mark's dad was always in. Marquez's dad was always in Mark's paddock. I never really seen him in Alex's paddock. Maybe time to time, but when the camera was on him, it seemed like he was always in Mark's paddock. So I still think that's his favorite until he's out of the game.
I mean, Mark's probably been buying them more stuff longer than Alex has, because Alex only really started coming into money in the last few years, like real money.
TJ, what are you trying to say? Parents got favorite kids?
Of course, man.
The kids paying all the bills. That kid's they like that kid.
Usually it's the youngest.
More.
Usually it's the youngest, not the oldest. But
that's what I'm
saying. But like you said, like Lewis said, Mark's paying the bills. So
yeah, you gotta. Hey man, the guy that's paying the bills, you gotta give him a little extra love, a few more hugs, than the kid that's costing you money.
Yeah.
But again, man, at the end of this year, I'm glad that he's going to be with Grassini again next year. I'm glad he's going to have the same structure behind him, the same people behind him. He's going to be on factory equipment next year. So that might give him that extra couple of tenths, because you never know, man. Again, this kid, for the talent that he doesn't have, people forget, man, he is a Moto2 world champion. He didn't just come into MotoGP with a last name, and Moto3. He didn't just come into MotoGP with no credentials. Like, the dude's put in his work. The dude's worked hard. And I hope to see him in the same position next year. And I hope to see him in that position for years to come. I think he's an incredible talent. If you take Mark out of the equation, the minute that Mark Marquez retires, Alex Marquez can pick up a torch and run with it for another who knows how many years, and keep the Marquez name in that GP paddock and keep pissing off those Italians for a long time, man.
Listen, man, Alex needs a lot of credit, because he could have Nancy Kerrigan a few people already. So it's going to be cool to see. I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys are going to be at Jersey. I'm jealous because I'm not there. Definitely take some photos. Reese, good luck, man. I'm rooting for you guys because I know you. I mean, it is what it is. I'm a fan of Ducati. I got Yamahas and Ducatis, but you know what I'm saying? We're on the All-Star team, so definitely go Yamaha.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it over here.
I can't wait to watch. I'm not gonna be sweating like you. So make sure you at least steal something from Lewis, because he's not gonna drop off a T-shirt or anything.
Right, he ain't dropping. I'm stealing all his gear. His gear, I'm stealing.
Find out where y'all are located.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Have fun, man. Jersey's gonna be nice. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. You got TJ from Two Wheels and Coffee, Reese from Attack Yamaha, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy, and more. It's a crazy show. Peace.
Peace.